Hope, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tim, and good morning to everybody out on the road and listening today.
Absolutely. And our number is 888-876-2336. 8888 Road Dog if you'd like to speak with Hope. You can do that via email as well at tim.ridley@SiriusXM.com. Also, you can try out our new button, our phone icon right there on your app, on your Sirius XM app. You just tap that phone icon. That'll get you straight in here to the board, and Dispatch Dave will have you seated at the table to talk to Hope. Hope, this is a great topic, as you always have great topics, and how screens and caffeine and stress, it will wreak havoc on your sleep and also on your life, in your life, won't it?
Yes. Well, and I'll say this, caffeine, even stress in the right doses can actually be good for you. There's actually benefits to that. But for many drivers on the road, and quite frankly, many of us just in general, we are way over the top when it comes to how much we're consuming, be it of screens, be it of stress, be it of caffeine. And it's really that kind of overdose or overload of any of those three or all of the above that's putting us in a position that not only do we feel groggy or run down, fatigued during the day, but many of the drivers I talk to, they'll say something like, well, I fall asleep okay, but I don't stay asleep. And that's really concerning because sleep is really about quality. And if you're restless through the night, it might actually not be sleep that's to blame. It may be some of the other things that you're doing during the day or prior to going to bed that's actually causing you to have a less successful night's sleep. And what if there were some small things that you could just tweak throughout the day or right before you go to bed that could help you improve that sleep so you have more energy and feel more rested during the day? And that is what we're going to talk about today.
All right. Well, let's dive right in, Hope.
Well, since it's, I'm Central Time, since it's still morning, it's still about 7:30-ish, let's talk about caffeine. So many of you listening probably filled up your cup of coffee. I love coffee, but it's really important that we look and assess how much caffeine, particularly if you're drinking regular coffee, that you are getting throughout the day, and especially when you're getting that caffeine. And so I am not opposed to a cup of coffee when you wake up in the morning. The challenge is how many and how late in the day are you drinking that coffee? We really want to think about caffeine that there's a saying, no caffeine after 1 p.m. And the reason being for that is caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. So if you're starting out, on the road and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I think I want a cup of coffee because it's wintertime, or you just want something to sip on, and it's 2, 3 o'clock and you're going to start winding down for bed, say, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., maybe even 10 p.m., that caffeine can really wreak havoc on helping you regulate your melatonin, helping you with that wind down process. And now you're laying in bed awake or restless, or you might find yourself kind of half waking up in the middle of the night. That's not going to give you that quality of sleep that you're looking for. So I always like to tell people, really think about caffeine or that coffee earlier in the morning. People say, well, I don't drink coffee later in the day, but they're drinking bubblers. They're drinking, sodas with caffeine. And so really watch that and regulate that. And I always you're cutting back on the caffeine because you get a little moodier or grouchier temporarily. So that's when you probably have been using too much caffeine.
Kind of like a caffeine addiction, isn't it?
It is. But the cool thing is once you start stepping back from caffeine, even just one less cup of coffee, or you're going to kind of watch how much milligrams of caffeine a day you're getting, which you shouldn't get more than about 400 milligrams. Once you start regulating that and watching that, a lot of times people are amazed at how much caffeine they're actually consuming, and you start slowly tapering down from that. You don't need to go cold turkey. you are going to notice a significant change in your energy levels during the day. You're going to be more regulated. You're going to be more even. Stress isn't going to be so edgy. Like when someone says something or something happens, you kind of just feel really irritated or kind of fly off the handle. That's going to smooth out a little bit because that caffeine really dysregulates your nervous system when you're consuming it in really high volumes. So the cool thing is our body is really smart, and it's always doing stuff underneath the surface that we have no idea that's going on. And so even just that little tweak can go a really long way with caffeine.
Yeah, because too much caffeine, you are kind of wiry, your hands shake some, and it just puts you, it can put you on edge. Uh, I have a one of my cousins, he can handle it pretty well, but not everybody can handle it that well. I don't know if it's because he's been drinking coffee for so many years, and he's just a coffee connoisseur and drinks it all throughout the day. But it can make you fidgety and on edge. I've seen that happen countless times.
Yeah, so if you're somebody that feels just really agitated or, again, that sleep time, maybe even you're a little bit more irritable at sleep time, like that can be a sign that your caffeine intake is a little too high. And this is something, if you're listening, you have 100% control over. It's easy when we feel like our health is not where we want it to be or anything in life that we feel like we have no choices. This is 100% something that you can start adjusting. You don't have to do it all at once, and you don't have to cut out caffeine completely. There are lots of benefits to caffeine. You can do your own research, but there are countless studies around supporting the liver. It's actually has some positive benefits towards Parkinson's. But again, those research studies are all done with appropriate doses and appropriate amounts of caffeine, not the amount that so many people are taking in, especially in America, and saying that that's normal.
Yeah, like 2,000 milligrams and 10,000
Yes.
milligrams. All right. Well, let's switch to the screen time. We're in this day and age. We have to have our screen. We have to be buried in our screens. We have to check our screens, and sometimes, unfortunately, even into the night, right before you go to sleep, even sometimes in bed as you're going to sleep. Let me grab this and check this email, check to be sure I don't have any emails, or somebody texts you, you need to see who that is, or you feel that you need to see who it is and respond. So let's talk about screen time.
Yeah, well, I love one thing you just said, Tim, that need to check your phone, especially at bedtime, is heavily linked to anxiety. And so I just want to put that out there. If you feel that deep urge, like, oh my gosh, I have to check my phone one more time, or, oh, I have to scroll, I have to look at this, there's a big connection to anxiety. I would encourage you to pay attention to that why, like, why do I have to check this? Or if I don't respond to this email or text message tonight, like, the sky isn't going to fall, like, things aren't going to go haywire over this one thing, and starting to think about healthy boundaries with that, because that can really help positively affect sleep. But let's talk specifically about that screen time, and more specifically about blue light. And so we all know that that blue light is coming through those screens, whether it's your phone or your tablet or your computer. And in today's world, we can't really combat it. Like, it's there. Like, we need phones. It's a part of our lifeline. Sometimes I wish I could go back to 1997 and maybe just have like a little flip phone or something. That would be great. But since we can't do that, we want to think about supporting ourselves and better preparing ourselves so that we can be more successful and have better energy and have better sleep. So one of the things is a lot of people, you can download an app on your phone that can help suppress some of that blue light. Some phones have it built in where it's automatically turned on. That's going to turn down the amount of blue light that you have coming out of your phone just throughout the day and at night. So that's one thing that we can do that's really positive, and that's going to help our melatonin production at night not be suppressed by that blue light. But other things we can think about with that phone that's really important is when we're bringing that up to our face right before bed, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours right before bed, we are suppressing our melatonin levels. And why this is really important is because you ain't going to fall asleep and stay asleep without melatonin. That is our sleep hormone. And so when we are suppressing that sleep hormone, especially as a driver, sleep is so sacred, you really need to be preparing yourself for trying to have the best possible sleep you can, especially if you're a teen driver or maybe you are a lighter sleeper. If it was me, I would try to be doing anything possible to not disrupt that sleep cycle. And your phone, I might even say I'm 98% confident that your phone, if you have sleep issues and you're a driver, is a part of the problem. Whether it is the blue light that you are getting before bed, I like to tell drivers, think about, anywhere between 20 minutes to 60 minutes before you go to bed, get rid of the phone. 20 minutes is a good starting point to help your mind wind down, help your melatonin production start, get away from light, really all light if you can, but that blue light especially, and start to create a different type of sleep routine. One of the suggestions I like to give people when they say their mind is racing, and that's why they like scrolling because it kind of suppresses that craziness in the mind, is just to start to journal. I know that doesn't sound really cool, so don't call it journaling if you don't want to. Call it writing down your thoughts or jotting notes down for the day, but just writing down what you're thinking, writing down, don't forget to text message my friend or don't forget to call this person. Actually, that emptying of the mind is really, really positive when it comes to falling asleep faster. So there was a study that was done. People that journaled for 30 days, for 5 minutes before they went to bed, just on anything in their head, whatever, fell asleep faster than the people that didn't, and stayed asleep faster. So that was pretty cool.
We all need some help. That's great. Hope Zvara is with us. This is Tim Ridley. We'll head to the table on the other side of these messages. This is Tim Ridley on Sirius XM. Hope Zvara is with us. This is Tim Ridley on Sirius XM. Today's topic is how caffeine, screens, and stress wreak havoc on your rest. It wrecks your rest and also, yes, your energy. It can drain you. Huck was actually first in line at the table to talk to Hope this morning, but we lost Huck, and Nutty Buddy is next. Nutty Buddy, good morning. You're live on the show with Hope.
Greetings and salutations, and thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Me and my coffee. Oh, my God. Mess with my coffee, and we got a big fight. And my wife will tell you I fight.
He's on edge.
Nail in it. Oh yes. I had gotten up to about 5 gallons of coffee a day I drank. I cut it way down, and all I can tell you is I keep waking up because I got to go pee. And, you're drinking too much. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Meanwhile, blood work, everything is like, oh, man, everything's great, man. You got great genes. And all my wife keeps telling me is, you're having too much coffee. She just got to the point where it's almost non-existent at my house. And I said, it's all right. Wait till I get on the road. I'll make my pit stop, and I got to have my coffee. And I will say, I love my Maxwell House coffee.
So it does interfere with your sleep through the night, though, right? Because you have to keep getting up, going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Anybody? Are you? Okay,
yes and no. Yes and no. I don't know if it's because of the coffee, but all I know. It's like, I keep telling her, and I even said to the doctor, it's like, hey, man, I said, I hit 60, and it's like, boom, somebody flipped the switch. It's like, oh, my God, you got to get up at 2 o'clock. You got to get up at 4 o'clock. You got to go pee, period.
Welcome to the 60s club.
Yes. Yes. And my wife turned around and she's been talking to my wife or something. My wife, when I've been home, she's keeping a list of, everything I drink and what I've been drinking. And she's like, look, this is what he's had. This is what he's been drinking. And he's not drinking enough water. But on the road, before I eat, I drink 24 to 48 ounces of water with every meal. And I wait like 10, 15 minutes before I start eating after the water. And that has helped to lose weight. And all I can say is I am tired of getting up to go to the bathroom.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but caffeine is a natural diuretic. And so if you're drinking caffeine after 2 p.m., guaranteed you're going to be getting up, going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, especially at the level of both water and caffeine that you're drinking. A lot of times people don't recognize they're drinking coffee, but then they're also drinking other stuff too throughout the day. And that can definitely regulate or dysregulate their sleep. One of the other interesting things, though, is like after about 60 or so in men, like you are going to start to see a slow increase in size of your prostate, which can create the urge to need to go to the bathroom more. So you kind of might be have a double dose going on. Naturally, your body is doing one thing, but you're also putting in a high amount of caffeine that is causing you then to want to go to the bathroom even more. And I'm just a big believer. Sleep is a vitamin. And sleep is a nutrient that we all need, and really starting to step back and go, I got to make sure that I prioritize my sleep. And so maybe cutting back a little bit on that caffeine may give you a little bit more of a peace of mind at night, literally, to get a better quality sleep. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Nutty Buddy. We appreciate you, buddy. Be safe. Hope my dispatcher, my producer, Dispatch Dave, he says that that's so true. He did a journal last night and slept like a baby.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. Because you're getting all of those thoughts out of your mind. Your subconscious does not know what to do with all of those thoughts. It's like a tornado in your head. Where do I drop all of these things when the tornado is over? And journaling, writing things down. If you'd rather, voice text them to yourself, go ahead and do that if you absolutely need to, just to get those things out of your head. And you will notice a big change in your body just kind of going, okay, now I don't need to remember those things. It's kind of like when you have a big trip or maybe an appointment and the night before you're like trying to make sure that you wake up on time and don't miss it so you don't really sleep well, because your subconscious and your brain just like will not stop. They want to make sure that you're going to remember that. So writing those things down, having a routine before you go to bed can really, really be beneficial in that sleep regulation. I have a little rule that I heard a long time ago that I love to follow and love to encourage other people to follow, and it's called the 3-2-1 sleep rule. And it's 3 hours before bed, stop eating heavy meals. So your body doesn't have to choose between digesting food or letting that natural process of organ cleaning and brain renewal kind of kick in. So the first one is 3 hours before bed, no heavy meals. 2 hours before bed, turn off your screens or dim your screens. And then 1 hour before bed, we want to stop work and then wind down or have some type of routine. Now, if you hear that and you're like, oh, that's impossible, find your happy medium. Maybe it's 20 minutes before bed, you stop work and wind down. Maybe it's an hour before bed, you turn down your screens. Find that process that works for you. But I'm a big believer, when you do nothing, you get to complain about nothing. When you're doing something and you're making an effort, then we can open up that conversation.
Absolutely. And don't fall to the urge of waking up. When you wake up, first thing you do is grab your phone. I'm talking about in the middle of the night. Grab your phone and check Facebook or check social media and then expect to go back to sleep. Sometimes you can, but it does disrupt it in terms of falling back to sleep, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. And there's even a bunch of studies out right now that say if you can suppress looking at your phone in the morning when you wake up, you're actually more productive and accomplish more throughout the day. So if you can even push out looking at your phone, turn off your alarm if you're using it for an alarm, by 20 minutes to 60 minutes, you have a completely different hold on the day than the people that immediately pick up their phone and start scrolling, and the effects that has on how it is you tackle the day. So you know what? You might already be up, but the day is still young. You can make those small, simple changes to help make healthy changes in your life.
Absolutely. Real quick, Hope, how can we get in touch with you?
Absolutely. You can head over to mothertruckeryoga.com and find me on any social platforms, Mother Trucker Yoga. We're sharing helpful strategies, tips, and tools that drivers can use every single day to improve their health and all over well-being.